Welcome to today's F1 news update. We're diving into three explosive stories. Johnny Herbert drops a bombshell about Max Verstappen following his FIA sacking. Motorsport UK's head is gearing up to challenge the FIA head-on, and former driver Christijan Albers calls out Red Bull over their wing saga. Let's break it all down. Lewis Hamilton has claimed that the introduction of a mandatory two-stop strategy at the Monaco Grand Prix was originally his idea. Hamilton stated that he has been advocating for this change for several years, believing it will enhance the excitement of the race. I'm pretty sure that was my idea anyways, but if you go back and look at some of the transcripts of previous years, I've been mentioning the two-stop for years. I think Monaco has to be at least a two-stop. The one-stop was never really great, Hamilton revealed. Monaco's historic status deserves a more thrilling on-track product. That Grand Prix is a great Grand Prix, but the race has more to offer in the race, hopefully. Maybe with more than one pit stop, he added. Hamilton noted that the new rule will not completely solve Monaco's notorious overtaking difficulties. He believes it will introduce a welcome element of unpredictability to the proceedings. That won't fix it all, but I think it will make it more exciting. So I'm all for it, Hamilton concluded. What's your opinion on this mandatory two-stop strategy for Monaco? Former F1 driver Johnny Herbert has shared his genuine opinion about Max Verstappen, despite recent controversies surrounding his departure from his FIA steward role. Herbert, who faced accusations of bias against the Dutch champion, surprisingly maintains that Verstappen is the best driver on the grid at the moment. The accusations of bias raised concerns from both Max and his father Jos about Herbert's ability to make impartial decisions as a steward. This tension ultimately contributed to Herbert's removal from his FIA position. Nevertheless, Herbert has put these professional disagreements aside when assessing Verstappen's driving abilities. Max has done a good number of laps and he will always be in the running because for me he is the best driver on the grid at the moment, Herbert stated. Looking ahead to the 2025 season, Herbert believes Lando Norris poses the strongest challenge to Max's dominance. I'm going for Lando. He's got the knife between his teeth. He's learned a lot from his fight against Max, Herbert explained. However, he added a note of caution about Norris's teammate. But he has to be very, very careful with his teammate, because I think Oscar is going to be in the mix too. What do you think about Herbert's assessment? Christian Horner remains at the centre of controversy, with his alleged inappropriate behaviour case set to go before an employment tribunal in January 2026. Former F1 driver Ralf Schumacher believes this will prevent Red Bull from achieving stability. I don't believe that calm will return, states Schumacher, pointing to ongoing turbulence within Red Bull stable. Ralf also suggested that Horner has consolidated power within the organisation, shifting Red Bull's priorities beyond F1 and into other sports. He is someone who wants to control everything and take on more and more responsibilities. I believe he has managed to do that. Red Bull in Salzburg cares more about other sports, football and so on, Schumacher explained. Ralf further warned that Horner's ability to exploit opportunities, including regulatory loopholes, is a strength but could also pose a risk when power is concentrated in a single figure. He is someone who of course smelt a big opportunity when the big boss unfortunately left. You had the feeling that he wanted to be the new strong man, with the idea, without me, nothing will work. And that's dangerous, Schumacher concluded. Do you think Ralf Schumacher's assessment of Horner's leadership is accurate? David Richards, head of Motorsport UK, has taken a strong stance against the FIA president, accusing the governing body of eroding accountability and transparency. Richards is prepared to take legal action following his exclusion from the FIA World Council for refusing to sign a controversial confidentiality agreement. Another key member, FIA Vice President for Sport Robert Reid, was also banned from attending meetings. In a letter addressed to British motorsport members, Richards recalled supporting Ben Sulayem's election in 2021, citing campaign promises of non-executive leadership, professional management, and transparent governance. I fear that in the last 3 years there has been a clear lack of respect for these promises. The turning point for Richards came 3 weeks ago when he was asked to sign a new confidentiality agreement, which he described as a gagging order. With no response from the FIA, Richards and his legal team have formally challenged the governing body's actions and warned of potential legal consequences. What do you think about this growing tension between national motorsport bodies and the FIA? Former F1 driver Christijan Albers has criticised Red Bull for complaining about flexible wings, reminding them that they were the ones who initially pushed the conversation on the subject. Red Bull technical director Pierre Wache has claimed that Ferrari and McLaren are still exploiting a mini DRS effect on their rear wings. Albers dismissed Red Bull's complaints, stating that as long as the wings pass FIA tests, they comply with regulations. At the moment, those wings are allowed. If they pass the tests, they comply with the regulation. He also pointed out that Red Bull itself contributed to the issue and should adapt rather than protest. Red Bull started this story, and now it's complaining about it. Why? They also have to go in this direction. It's very simple. Red Bull team principal Christian Horner has also expressed concerns, arguing that stricter FIA controls should extend to front wings as well. He fears that if regulations change mid-season, teams will face financial and performance disadvantages. Do you think Red Bull is right to raise concerns about flexible wings? That's our deep dive into today's F1 controversies. Herbert's revealing insights on Verstappen, Motorsport UK's bold stance against the FIA, and the heated debate over Red Bull's wing saga. What do you think? Are these signs of deeper change in the sport? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this update, be sure to like, subscribe and hit the bell for more breaking F1 news.